Okay, iPhone, iOS update. That's good. Now I gotta log into this. Oh, password for my line. What's my password for my line? It was something really hard like password or password 123. Oh, geez, I don't remember these things. I mean, how often do I log into Line or whatever? I forget the passwords all the time. What am I gonna do? Face ID. Oh, I could try that. But do I want Bill Gates to know exactly what I look like? I'm not sure I want that either. I should write these. Oh, they always say don't write down your passwords because then someone can read the paper you write it on and they'll know your passwords. I have to do better at this. I wish there was a way we could do all this stuff without passwords, without showing people who we are and all that stuff. Anyway, maybe there's an article I can find about an end to passwords, because I really do need to end.
These days, from your email to your social media, just about everything needs a password. Remembering all of these passwords can be a major pain point. Luckily, to make people's lives a little more convenient, Google, Apple, and Microsoft have recently begun developing passwordless sign-in for all of their services. These three tech giants are proposing that people log into their online accounts in the same manner as they unlock their cell phones. Currently, a user can unlock their cell phone without putting in a password. For example, they might use a pattern or face scan to unlock their phone.
Hi everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike, and yes, so we are going to be reading an one-day article called An End to Passwords. Actually, I should read that differently since our title is really a question. An end to passwords? So I think we all know that passwords are a thing we have to remember, but maybe there will be an end to these passwords. We won't use them in the future anymore. We'll just have to see. But first, let's talk about this very important word, password. Yeah, it's a key word for our article because when you're talking about a password, you're talking about some secret phrase or saying or letters or even numbers you could also call as a password that allow you to get into somewhere protected, somewhere guarded, somewhere that has lots of security. It could be like a real word, like I think soldiers often have passwords. If someone's coming towards them at night in the dark and they don't know the secret word or phrase, then the guards will shoot that person or be very careful of letting that person in. And in the same way, when we have our bank machine card, our ATM card, or our computer, or many of the apps we use on our phones and computers, these passwords or secret letters and numbers you choose, you can remember, you should keep them secret, and no one else will know them, and they will allow you to get into your account or your app or whatever. For example, to keep your account safe, you should change your password every 3 months. I don't do that. But maybe I should, because yes, of course, if you change your password, it will be harder for people to learn it, steal it, and use it. Let's get to our article. It says, these days, from your email to your social media, just about everything needs a password. It's true, if you have an account for your email, social media, many of the shopping websites you might use frequently, a lot of these things will be protected with passwords, which is great if you can keep them all organized in your mind. But as the article continues, remembering all of these passwords can be a major pain point. Yeah, keeping them in your mind, remembering them, can be a major pain point. Well, this is basically saying it can be frustrating, it can be difficult, it can be hard because you forget them, and then of course it's harder to get back into your accounts. Then we go on to read, luckily, to make people's lives a little more convenient, Google, Apple, and Microsoft have recently begun developing passwordless sign-in for all of their services. Passwordless. In other words, you don't need passwords, right? Often when we see that suffix less on something, it means without that. If someone is homeless, they don't have a home or something like that. So yeah, these big tech companies are developing apps and other things that we can get into. They'll still be safe, but we can get into them without remembering those phrases, letters, numbers, those passwords. As we read on, it says these 3 tech giants are proposing that people log into their online accounts in the same manner as they unlock their cell phones. Oh, okay, well, that would be easier, I suppose, because, as you know, unlocking your cell phone often is easier, takes less time, and is less trouble than getting into many of your online accounts and social media. This is an idea that these 3 big tech companies, remember Apple, Google, Microsoft, are proposing. When you propose something, this verb means basically you have an idea, you think it's a good idea, but you're not going to decide on it yet or on your own. You're going to put that idea forward and get other people's opinions. See what they think of it. But you think it's good, you think they'll probably agree, but you're waiting for their opinion or their decision. That is to propose something. For example, in the meeting, Ken proposed some methods to increase sales. He'd thought about it, he'd come up with a plan, but he needs other people to agree. So here's my plan, let me know what you think. I think it's good. I'm proposing that we do this. Back to the article. Currently, a user can unlock their cell phone without putting in a password. Yeah, it's true. Cell phones are a little bit easier because, of course, we have a phone and we have a camera on the phone and other things that might make it easier. Some of them also maybe use your thumbprint or something like that. I still use the password, but a lot of people don't. For example, to give you an example of how much easier it is to unlock your cell phone, for example, they might use a pattern or face scan to unlock their phone. Yeah, that Face ID, where you just pick up your phone, the camera turns on, it sees your face, it remembers your nose and your mouth and your eyes, and then it unlocks your phone. Very quick, very easy, and this is something that phones currently do. When we talk about something that is current as an adjective, it's of this time, it's modern, it's happening right now. If you read the news, you're reading about current events, things that are happening or happened recently in the world. So when we use the adverb with the ly currently, we're talking about things that are happening now. Not in the past, in history, not in the future, things going on right now in the time we are living in. For example, currently, the company has decided to stop selling cameras. They sold them in the past, maybe they'll sell them in the future, but right now we're currently no more cameras. And we also add the word pattern. Okay, now a pattern is sort of a design of things where things are organized and laid out, often in a way that will be the same and will be easy to copy. When we talk about our clothes, we often have patterns on our clothes. It could be lines and stripes, it could be spots, it could be flowers, and all of these clothes on the front and on the back, different places, they will have a pattern. And we can also talk about organizing things in a pattern. If you're setting the table, you put the plate here and a knife here and a fork here and a glass here, and you do the same thing for each seat for each person eating. So you would set the table in some kind of pattern, a very organized and easy to copy way of laying things out. For example, I love the pattern on your dress. It looks really nice. I really like the flowers and the whole thing. It looks really good. Nice pattern. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll be back with more about a passwordless future. Maybe.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 An End to Passwords。我们先来看看 password 就是密码。如果在后面加上形容词字尾 less 加上 less， 就是没有或是无，那构成 passwordless 就是形容无密码的。好 ，Mike 老师刚刚在介绍 less 的时候，他提到 suffix suffix 就表示字尾的意思哦。那同学们有遇过忘记密码，然后没办法登入网站或应用程式的情况吗？现在不管是电子邮件啊、社群媒体、购物网站等等，几乎所有的东西都需要密码。然后你要记住这些所有的密码，真是个痛点。 前啊，文中就用到 pain point 来指痛点，或是指说不断引起麻烦困扰的事物。好，那好消息就是说 Google 谷歌啊、苹果、微软最近开始为他们所有的服务开发了无密码登入，他们就提议让人们使用跟你解锁手机相同的方式来登入线上账户。那目前用户呢，他们不需要输入密码就能解锁手机嘛，像是可能会用图案啊，或者是脸部扫描啊、手指指纹辨识等等来解锁手机。好，文中的这个 face scan 它表示脸部扫描。那我们的单字 propose 它是动词，是指提议、提出。Mike 老师用到片语 put forward， 它也有提出的意思，像是提出某个意见啊、想法等等。下一个单字 currently 它是副词，表示目前。那么 pattern 它表示图案、花样，像衣服的图案可能会有线条、条纹等等。老师说的 stripe S-T-R-I-P-E stripe 就表示条纹。老师还用到片语 layout， 它可以指陈列、铺设或是摆放的意思。介绍课文中。
Passwordless sign-in will do more than just free us from needing to remember passwords. Surprisingly, it can also offer better security than passwords. The reason for this is simple. When passwords are used, most people end up creating weak passwords, which are easy for hackers to figure out. So if you're one of those people who uses a password like password 1234, consider making the switch to passwordless sign-in when it becomes available across all platforms.
All right, we are back with our article all about passwords and how great they are. Well, no, not really. They're easy to forget. We need them for so many things, but you can't use the same password. You just have to remember all the different ones. Now, some people are saying, why don't we do it differently? It's easy to open your phone with just your face. So why not have passwordless entry, or, as the article continues, passwordless sign-in will do more than just freeing us from needing to remember passwords. Well, obviously, if we don't need passwords, we don't need to remember passwords. So yeah, if we can sign in or get into our online accounts and social media with just our face or with things other than passwords, that would be great. But that's not the only good thing about it. It says, surprisingly, it can also offer better security than passwords. So using that Face ID can actually make it, of course, easy to forget all your passwords because you don't need them, but really not using passwords might make things better, or might make for or create better security. When we talk about security, this noun, we're talking about the things that we do or the things that we have to keep things safe. Locks on your doors give you some security. If you're wearing a seatbelt in a car, that will give you some security, some safety, some protection, things like that. So there are things that we do, there are places we go when they look in your bags before you go into the airplane. That's also security. When we have guards protecting VIPs or important places, that's security too. For example, there are many security measures in place to protect the royal family. Sure, they're important people. They have security guards. Back to the article. The reason for this is simple. The reason why using Face ID, why that's better than passwords, it's simple. When passwords are used, most people end up creating weak passwords, which are easy for hackers to figure out. Yes, if your password is ABC123 or you use your first name or something like that, that is weak password security. So of course, hackers, criminals who are trying to break into your computer, they can figure these out. They can basically guess your passwords very easily if they're simple, if they're the kind of password everyone uses. As it says, so if you're one of those people who uses a password like password 1234. Consider making the switch to passwordless sign-in when it becomes available across all platforms. Because of course, password 1234 is easy to remember, but also easy to guess. Let's look at our what do you think question. Do you prefer to use passwords or other methods of logging into your accounts, Why? This is a good question. I like to use passwords instead of Face ID because I don't really want my face to be remembered by my phone, but I do also have a problem with forgetting my passwords a lot. I'll still have to think about this. Take care, everyone. Keep your internet life safe, and we'll see you back here sometime soon. Until then, bye-bye.
好，课文接着提到，无密码登入除了让我们不需要记住密码，它还能提供比密码更好的安全性。那原因很简单，在使用密码的时候呢，大多数的人最终都会设定弱的密码，可能像 password 1234，或者是你用注音打密码，或是我的密码之类的，这个密码强度不够啊，就很容易被骇客破解。好，文中的这个 hacker 就是指骇客、电脑骇客。那么单字 security 它表示防卫或是安全措施。那这边两个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看重点 ，free somebody from 或是 of。再加名词或动名词，这是表达使某人免于做某事，让某人摆脱某事。Free 在这边是当动词，就是有使摆脱、释放、使自由的意思。举例来说 ，Do you believe that money can free you from worries？ 你认为钱可以让你摆脱烦恼吗？我是觉得不能啊，但是没钱更烦恼。好，我们再来看看 free 呢，它也可以当形容词，可以来表达说没有什么、无什么什么的。那当你用 be free of 或是 be free from 什么什么，就可以表达没有什么、免于什么。举例来说 ，Imagine a world that is free from pollution。想象一个没有污染的世界，那该有多好啊！再来我们看到 end up， 它可以表达最终处于怎么样，成为什么，或者是结果变成什么。那么之后呢，你可以接形容词啊、名词、现在分词 ing 或者是介系词片语等等来说明状态。举例来说 ，They ended up having instant noodles for dinner。结果他们最后是吃泡面当晚餐。好了，那么以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
These days, from your email to your social media, just about everything needs a password. Remembering all of these passwords can be a major pain point. Luckily, to make people's lives a little more convenient, Google, Apple, and Microsoft have recently begun developing passwordless sign-in for all of their services. These three tech giants are proposing that people log into their online accounts in the same manner as they unlock their cell phones. Currently, a user can unlock their cell phone without putting in a password. For example, they might use a pattern or face scan to unlock their phone. Passwordless sign-in will do more than just free us from needing to remember passwords. Surprisingly, it can also offer better security than passwords. The reason for this is simple. When passwords are used, most people end up creating weak passwords, which are easy for hackers to figure out. So if you're one of those people who uses a password like password 1234, consider making the switch to passwordless sign-in when it becomes available across all platforms.
Hey, I'm Matt.
I'm Stephen.
Today we're playing Guess the Bear. We each have 3 cards with words or phrases and example sentences where those words or phrases are replaced with the word bear. We're going to read these sentences and each of us will have 1 minute to see if we can guess all 3 words or phrases.
That's right.
So are you ready, Stephen?
I'm always ready.
We'll see about that. All right, 1 minute on the clock. Let's go. First one's an adverb.
Okay.
The company Bear employs 1,500 people. Bear, we have no plans to sell our house.
Oh my God. One more time?
The company Bear employs 1,500 people. And Bear, we have no plans to sell our house.
Currently?
Yes.
Okay.
Next one's a noun, 1 word. I like the purse, but the bear is really ugly. His shoes have a unique checkerboard bear.
Design.
No, the...
Pattern.
Yes.
Okay.
Phrase 2 words.
Okay.
Nora celebrated being bear debt. The dog ran around bear its cage.
Out of.
No, it's...
Keep going. I'm going to keep
Nora
reading it.
celebrated being bear debt. The dog ran around bear its cage.
Around. Around it. Oh, outside of. No.
Two words.
I don't know. What is it? I gave up.
Free from.
Oh, free from.
So Nora celebrated being free from debt, and the dog ran around free from its cage.
Okay, I should have gotten that one. All right.
Yes, you should have.
Shut up.
Okay, let's start the timer.
All right.
This is a verb, one word. Number 1, he bared a solution, but no one liked it. Number 2, I bear that we take a new course of action. He bared a solution, but no one liked it. Number 2, I bear that we take a new course of action.
Suggest? I don't know. Next one.
Okay, next one. Okay, this is a noun, one word. Number 1, you should change your bear often to prevent being hacked. Number 2, new bears must be 10 characters long.
Password.
There you go. This is a phrase, 2 words. Let's just take a ride and see where we bear. Number 2, if you don't study, you'll bear failing your classes.
End up.
Good job. Well, let's go back to the first one.
Yeah.
He bared a solution, but no one liked it. Number 2, I bear that we take a new course of action.
Well, it's not suggest. It still suggests to me.
It can also be used in a different way, like 2 people, between 2 people who love each other. Propose.
Propose. I see.
Okay, I was trying to hint. Like,
Yeah,
he proposed
okay.
someone. So he proposed a solution, but no one liked it. And I propose that we take a new course of action.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. We both got one wrong, so I'm happy. I'm happy. I was afraid that you were going to get all 3. So when you get this one, I was really happy. I was like, yes.
See you next time.